Hey everyone, how's it going? So Candace Owens is completely and totally losing her mind. Like, there's not even a question about it. So, of course, Netanyahu posted a letter. It is reasonable, okay, to ask for proof and stuff, but the way people are going about it, the way Candace is going about it, is completely insane, right? And we have proof of the letter, as well as now Candace Owens is coming in here and spreading conspiracy theories that Tyler Robinson's parents apparently said that they don't believe that he did this to Charlie Kirk at all, and that he also never stepped foot on UVU campus. The problem with that is we have video of him literally on UVU campus, and it is undeniable video. I covered it from day one. It's undeniable. So he has set foot on the campus, so I don't know what they're talking about. Now, whether it was staged or not's one thing, right? Whether our government is completely lying about everything and using him as a patsy. He was at least there. Okay, the government definitely made sure to put him there so they could get film of him. At least, right? So what in the world, like when you go so far conspiracy brained that you start making such massive mistakes of going, well, he was never ever been there. What'd they do? Build a set of it and then film him there? Come on. Good God. It's unbelievable. It's as ridiculous as the people who are like, oh, well, there were definitely never, ever, ever any planes whatsoever that hit the towers, right? But the government's fully behind it. They just used demolition. It's like, yeah, but couldn't they have just like, I don't know, Occam's razor here, given two people full access to fly airplanes into the buildings? Doesn't seem like that would be a difficult thing to do. And many people witnessed the airplanes actually hitting the buildings. Why is it impossible? They could have also demolished a few others to make sure the buildings went down. But why is it so impossible? Like, why is it that whenever we have clear proof of something, that's a lot of the conspiracy theorists will be like, oh, that actually never happened. And it's like, dude, it's more intelligent to just say the government did this than to deny something that's in front of our faces. Let's get into it.
The phone and calls Charlie Kirk and invites him to Israel? Why would BB do that? It seems like maybe there's a little more to the story. No, there definitely is a little bit more to the story. First and foremost, that letter he is holding up, he is severely misrepresenting. Those sentences are real, but I am calling upon Bibi Netanyahu, the dear friend to Charlie Kirk, to publish the letter's entire contents. Like, don't start with just 2 sentences. Publish the entire thing.
Why? Why? He came out there and they asked him, well, what did Charlie Kirk essentially think of you? And he goes, actually, I got a really nice letter from him. And then proceeds to read a couple parts from it.
I'm saying you're severely misrepresenting the contents.
That's what you're saying. So then the letter gets published yesterday. From the desk of Charlie Kirk. This is really, really hard to read. Are you kidding? Can I zoom in at all? Zoom in a bit here. It's not wanting to zoom in past that point. So this is going to be really difficult, but I have the full letter. And before I read the full letter, okay, let me go ahead and I'll zoom back out to 100% here. I got into a little tiff with this idiot here. So Jeremy says, but I was reliably told that Israel ended Charlie Kirk, Now this guy says, find a clip of someone actually saying that, you disingenuous, whatever. So we get to it. Candace Owens, And then he said, literally, oh, and this kid wasted no time. Yesterday was a turning point for Israel-U.S. relations. Less than 24 hours. Here we go. Ian Carroll, of course, who's on her show all the time. So 24 hours, the internet already figured out who the most likely culprit was. He was their friend. He basically dedicated his life to them, and they ended him in front of his family. Israel just ended themselves. He straight up called it out. So, and she has literally, Candace Owens, Ian Carroll literally is the main guy on her show. I could show you, actually. I don't even have to just tell you that. Look. Very simple. Ian Carroll. Ian Carroll. Ian Carroll. Ian Carroll. Ian Carroll. Ian Carroll. I mean, it's pretty obvious. I'd say that he represents Candace pretty well. Pretty well represents her, right? It's kind of indisputable at this point. He hosts almost every video. For the past 4 months, he has hosted on Candace's channel. So, I mean, that's directly from Candace. And they're saying, oh, you could never find that. Well, anyway, so I get him. You cannot find a clip of her saying, I believe Israel is responsible for. I don't care about that. She directly implied it. Directly implied it. So I ended up sending him the video, 10-minute mark, and then also said it's, 10:57 mark. Did I get to that point? 10:57? Not quite. Let's get
That in May, Charlie was concerned about Israel and their influence on American politics and how they were pushing things that he felt were in conflict with his beliefs, free speech here in America. Bibi's holding it up like Charlie just in May said, hey, you know what? I just want to write a love letter to Israel. That's how it was presented. Would you guys agree? That's not how it happened. Now, regarding...
And here's the thing. She's just lying. Like, no evidence whatsoever. She made all of that up. And that's the problem, right? She doesn't know the contents of the letter. She doesn't know or has verified if he ever sent a letter or not, but she has made up that Netanyahu is lying. Now, here's a fact. Netanyahu could be lying, right? But how would Candace actually know that? That's the problem. She didn't go through and ask Erica Kirk, hey, do you have a copy of this letter? So maybe I could cover it. She didn't do that at all. She just made it up off the top of her head that, well, I don't believe that that's real, so therefore I'm going to say Netanyahu lied. That's a crazy take to have, okay? I wouldn't do this to Hassan Piker. I wouldn't literally, like, if somebody came out with a letter and, Hassan was like, actually, this right-wing guy wrote me a letter and he was actually really kind about it and, kind of did that and posted it and all. I wouldn't be like, no, Hassan is 100% lying because I wouldn't know that information. I would try to go to the source and see. And if that person isn't around anymore, I would try to go to people who have worked with them or people who have access to that level of information and be like, hey, can you verify this maybe? Did this actually take place? Are you able to? And I wouldn't expect necessarily an immediate answer or anything like that, but I would absolutely give it a shot. A great example I can give you of this is when Hassan Piker was held by customs. Okay, you all remember the story? Believe it or not, I went behind the scenes and tried to call customs and ask them if they violated his rights. They were such a-holes to me, and they blocked my number. That's how United States Customs was, up there in Chicago. I think it was Chicago, right? Wherever the flight was. And they were complete and total jerks about it. And I was like, all I want to know is just, did you violate Hassan Piker's rights? It's a yes or no answer. They were like, I am not giving you any information. I said, I don't need any information. I just want to know if you violated his rights or not. I'm giving you the biggest out possible. The biggest out. The correct answer is, no, we don't violate anybody's rights here. Okay, that would have been good enough for me. Then I would have hung up. They refused. I get it. They think they're protecting their rear ends, but sometimes, instead of being so confrontational, maybe you should shut up and listen to the question and actually do the appropriate thing. No, here through U.S. Border Customs, we do not violate people's rights. It's the only acceptable answer. And you can't be held to anything like that, especially if you guys believe you didn't violate anybody's rights. It's the best possible thing you could say. But people are too, lawyer-brained to where they're like, I need a lawyer for every single word ever spoken across the phone. People are stupid. And now I'll never trust customs. Thank you for making Hassan look good, you idiots. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. But clearly he's not suing them because he doesn't think they actually violated his rights. Anyway, though, I do continue this. I said 10-minute mark, do a little bit of research next time before you argue. And he says that is thorough presentation of potential motive and refutation of something he's claiming in the letter. At no point does she directly declare she believes Israel's responsible. Oh, so now, by that definition, Hassan Piker and Destiny have never made threats, right? I said, notice how you have to walk back your BS. And he said, I would never call for violence, but I am investigating the truth of this. Here's the thing, guy. I don't know who this Nick Egg guy is at all. I don't know if he's a real person or if he's a bot or if he's, a YouTuber or whatever it is. I don't care to call him out or anything like that. Don't bother the guy. But my whole point is Candace is coming out and making blanket lies. And by lies, I mean she's speculating. She's coming out and using her speculation as truth. That's not the way we do things. Again, I could call Hassan Piker a liar. But instead of coming out and doing that, I actually called the place and then the place made it worse. I had no way to verify anything. So therefore, instead of coming out and saying Hassan Piker was a liar, I just decided not to make the video. Simple enough, right? I don't have enough proof. Not going to do it. Candace Owens comes out and just lies and thinks it's okay. Look at this now. Let's listen to this.
Of most interest to me, what I've learned is that his father does not believe, his parents don't believe that their son committed this crime.
Any proof of this at all? Any proof? How do you know this? Where did you get that info?
I was like, huh? Excuse me? That's a far cry from what the media has been telling us. Remember, the media presented this amazing story. The father realized his son was guilty, so it goes, right? And then he phoned over a friend to help him convince his son to turn himself in because this guy, you know, this mysterious guy was...
He wasn't mysterious. He was a neighbor and he was a police officer. Candace, you should have known that. It wasn't a mystery. This guy was an officer. That's why the father got confused for being the officer. It's pretty easy to actually figure out and clear up. It was his neighbor who he trusted because he was a former law enforcement individual, I guess you'd say. He worked with law enforcement. I think he was a sheriff. Not entirely sure exactly where he worked or anything like that, but that's what was stated. But whatever. You want to say it's a mystery? Okay, whatever. Guess what? His aunt is a mystery, and so is his uncle, and so are any of his other friends that may have helped to turn him in. They're all mysteries, but whatever. This one guy's a mystery, as if that matters. But do you have anything to refute this? Any evidence whatsoever to say that his parents don't believe this?
Friend and just had a connection with Tyler, and eventually they said, "You've got to do the right thing here. We know this is you." That was the vibe. Certainly, that's what the media was putting down for us to pick up. Well, I was told actually that it was kind of the opposite.
Kind of? From
that
who?
quote unquote family friend who we learned was a former detective with the police force.
Okay. Oh, so you did know.
So therefore,
you did know. So it's not a mystery. This is how Candace always does. How is it in the same damn sentence every single time? Especially, and I pointed this out during the Steven Crowder incident. Whenever she was like, the Daily Wire actually, he could have negotiated. It's when you put your big boy pants on. Exactly how she said it was. Big boy pants on. And you negotiate. But then whenever Steven Crowder, we gave him an offer. Okay, this is the best part, because right after she said that, she says, Daily Wire gave him an offer. And then Steven Crowder's counteroffer was so ridiculous, we just told him no. Do you know what that means, guys? That means there was no negotiation at all. No negotiation whatsoever. That's when you put your big boy pants on and negotiate. But then he did negotiate, and we thought that was way too much, so we just told him no, that this is the one and only offer. So there was actually no negotiation. Literally, I have that still on my channel of her so contradicting herself within the first sentence. So now it went from, again, as she does this every single time, and I don't know why people watch her, but it makes me insanely angry when I see it. Goes from, literally, how many minutes are we in this? So it's 1 minute and 3 seconds. She has already said this was a mysterious guy, and then it was a very specific guy. Unbelievable.
Has strong ties with the police station, informed the family. It was that in-between person that informed the family that Tyler had been identified as the shooter. He recognized him. He knows Tyler. He gives them the heads up. And then I'm told, and I believe this, that the way in which he got arrested, or rather turned himself in, was because that family friend / neighbor / former detective told him.
Now we have all the information I just gave you. Are you kidding me? And she included neighbor. So I knew all this. Oh my God. But now all of a sudden it's not the mystery. So that's crazy. That's exactly what I'm talking about, guys. Right there.
Hey, it's best for you to turn yourself in because there's only one of two options here. Either you turn yourself in and everything is peaceable, or, you know, the SWAT team could come in here and arrest you and things would get crazy. So that's what happened. He went over to their house. Tyler was called over. Tyler was bewildered. He disputed the idea that he had murdered Charlie Kirk.
Get on with it. Come on,
in fact,
Candace.
according to my source,
What's your
Tyler
source?
has never even stepped foot on UVU campus. Tyler, it turns out, which has already been revealed, was accepted into Utah State University, not Utah Valley.
Okay, that's fantastic. Guess where Charlie Kirk was? Do you know what college Charlie Kirk was on? It doesn't matter. Do you have to get accepted to go onto a roof to do something? Now, again, I don't know that he was the one who made the shot. As far as I know, a .308 round would not have done that little of damage to the front. So there could be something more going on. That's great. But the issue I have with you, Candace, is the fact that you're just making stuff up. And now all of a sudden you have a source. I understand not giving away their name or anything like that, but give us some credibility. Your source is credible. Why? Why? How close are they to the family? That would be an appropriate thing to at least fill us in with.
And that's actually interesting if you pause and reflect on that, because we didn't really consider how on earth Tyler became not just familiar with the layout of the campus, but familiar with the roof.
Oh my God, he could just walk around. He can go up there and walk around. Okay, there is a college nearby. I'm not going to say what it is, where it's at. But guess what? I go up there all the time because a lot of colleges have nature trails and stuff on them. A lot of colleges have certain things that you can go and do in the public, believe it or not. And I take my kids to the college all the time. Again, not going to say where, but at the end of the day, colleges are open campuses. People can just go there and walk around. No one's going to stop you. So I don't know what you're talking about. And you know this. You go to colleges all the time. TPUSA.
Rooftop layout of UVU campus. So familiar that he knew exactly how to scale across the rooftops to duck down in order to take an almost impossible shot at a Charlie Kirk who was...
An almost impossible shot? What are you talking about? 200 yards? Candace, you're completely off your rocker. What are you talking about? First of all, getting up on a roof is not a problem for a kid. I can promise you that. I have had my fair share of getting up on roofs that I should not have. It's not difficult. Second of all, 200 yards? Now all of a sudden 200 yards is an impossible. This isn't a grassy knoll situation here. This was a very, very clean, easy shot. Okay? The issue that we're having isn't with an impossible shot. The issue we're having is bullet being too powerful, too big. See, with the whole JFK situation, it was, this bullet ain't powerful enough to be able to do the damage it did. This is the opposite situation where, hey, this is kind of looking like, how in the world did this bullet not just absolutely decapitate? You know what I mean? That's kind of the issues we're having with, but you're making stuff up so often, so frequently, that you're not even making sense anymore.
Sitting beneath a tent. How did he know how to do all of that? Had he been there before? Did he knew where Charlie was going to be sitting and that he would have that shot from on top of the Losey Center? What? Right? I would actually, and I don't know, but I would imagine that even actual current UVU students don't know that possibility. Like they're not.
I would say most UVU students probably aren't thinking in their minds, that's a great place to get up there and fire on someone. I'm just going to take a wild guess, Candace, that that's probably the case.
Even that familiar with how to scale the rooftops and what shots they can take.
I am blown away right now. I am actually going to get frustrated. Let me get to the end.
Take from it. We'll see.
Yeah, there we go. Candace, for the love of God, most students are not thinking, I'm going to scale that roof. And I'm going to get in a position to do something horrible. Are you freaking kidding me? Yeah, I would say probably most students going to school probably pull up into the parking lot and then they just attend classes and then they go home. I'm guessing most people aren't interested in figuring out how to get up on the roofs of their campus. Now, when I was 16, I could tell you this. I've probably been on the roofs of most businesses and schools in the town that I grew up in. And getting caught, I would have gotten into a lot of trouble, but we didn't care. We were kids. We climbed on everything. We walked around our entire town. We went everywhere and did things we really shouldn't have been doing. Not exactly a difficult thing, okay? Not at all. But most students, especially when they're adults, you know, going to college, are never going to think about doing that. They're going to be a little bit more mature, and they're just going to go to their classes and stuff. So I don't know what you're talking about. This was somebody who... Sorry about that, guys. This was somebody who literally planned the end of their enemy, quote unquote. Come on. Like, you're acting now like that this is so impossible for someone to do. It wasn't impossible. We have video that he was on foot at the campus. She's unhinged. She wasn't even invited to Charlie Kirk's memorial because of this. It's really sad. It's really sad to watch her fall and just go into a spiral. But I have been calling this from the beginning. Ever since her grifting, extreme left-wing position and creating a child's doxing website. Social Autopsy. I have been calling her a grifter from the beginning after all this. Before she even became Red Pill Black. When she became Red Pill Black. And on top of that, when she was doing the whole Steven Crowder thing that she was brilliantly wrong on. Calling out every single facet of that. And now, everyone is watching her spiral out of control over the Charlie Kirk situation here. I've been calling this from the very beginning, guys. So, definitely like, subscribe, and share. Tell me what your thoughts are down in the comment section below. Click in the description a link to my Discord so we can have fun conversations and you guys can suggest me videos and stuff whenever I live stream. I'll watch them on the live stream and stuff, depending. You know, I'd like to keep things relevant to the channel. Just letting you know, nothing crazy. But, you know, let's have some discussions there. I think it'll be a lot of fun. Thank you all again. Definitely make sure to subscribe and ding that bell, and I'll see you all in the next one. Later.